We are here with WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. Titus is a former tag team champion and a former Florida Gator. Titus, welcome to Rapzilla.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I guess to get right into it, you are a man of faith. So how has faith been guiding your career as a professional athlete?
My faith has guided me as a professional athlete the same way that it's provided me as a man. In sports, there are times that we're going to have, some adversity to overcome, whether it be in any sport that we play. We're going to have coaches that we got to learn to work with, teammates that we have to want to work with, and that's one great thing about faith. My faith is that it works in any arena, in every arena, and it's the same way in life. I've been in some of the worst situations I feel growing up, and my faith has kind of helped me through all of that because I've seen God's hand on my life at each turn. So it's a lot easier for me to deal with things, both in sports and outside of sports, than it probably would have been had I not had the faith that I have.
Right, and I know you had a crazy life story basically that we spoke about last time I spoke to you. So it's just great to kind of see that despite of where you came from, you decided to turn it around and be a difference maker, which again I guess speaks to being a man and being a person of character that you're striving to be. So as a father and a role model, how important do you feel it is to conduct yourself properly while on a platform where you're visible to lots of people on TV and just in the media? And is it hard to always keep that focus?
No, it's not hard at all, because I have not always had this platform that I'm on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the midst of, regardless of what platform I've had, you can ask pretty much anyone that went to high school with me or college. I've always been a person that does what's right because it's right. Like I say time and time again, so many people invested in me at a time in which they had nothing to gain in return, that I feel, that I owe it to those people. I owe it to the people that are constantly praying for me. I owe it to every, person that has that I've encountered in my past that has
Right.
positively affected my life. I owe it to them to be the person that they worked so hard and prayed so hard to help me become. And so it doesn't matter what platform that I have. I'm the same person. Me feeding the homeless, and doing things with the elderly is not something brand new that I just started doing when I became a part of the WWE. I've been doing, community work since I was in high school, and
Awesome.
it just so happened that since my platform has grown, so too has some of the things that I've done. But again, I was vice president of student government, and there are programs that are at the University of Florida that I put in place to help people in the Gainesville community that are still in place today. There are mentoring programs that I started as vice president of student body that are still going on today. There's a museum, the Harn Museum, which was in jeopardy of being shut down for various reasons, and I spoke out against it. And I stood up for the reasons as to why it should stay open, and I tried to do different programming there, which is still, the Movies on the Lawn is a program that happens at the University of Florida that I started there when I was there years ago. I've always had a heart for people, and that heart comes from just knowing, that's why I'm here. I know why I'm here, and
Right.
there's nothing and no situation. There's nothing that nobody that can tell me any different now. There used to be a time where I was, I was very insecure with who I was, simply because I had fell into the belief system of, oh, you'll never be able to go go to college, or you'll be dead or in jail by the time you're 16, or you'll be just another statistic. You know, and I refuse to go with that. And there were people that invested in me and wanted to see me defy all those accusations or allegations of you know, hindrance to where I'm supposed to be.
That's awesome, Titus. And I wanted to ask you, and I don't know how much you can speak on it or whatever, but you are currently on suspension from WWE. You know, you don't really have to get into it and whatever, but has there been any sort of silver lining that's happened at this time, and have you learned anything about yourself? Has something good come of this?
I always believe that in all things, you know, there's always positives in it. And I've been able to spend more time with my family and my kids and see their games and coach them and go on trips and see my mom more, see my friends more. I've been able to do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do as much of while I was on the road. You know, I made a mistake at an inopportune time, and regardless of whether it was too harsh or overreacting or whatever, you know, people have deemed it, you know, it all stemmed from my mistake. So whether I agree with it or not, I am owning it, and I'm just, you know, doing what I would normally do in any other situation, and that's just embrace the positives in the situation. And at the end of the day, I've had support from media outlets and professional athletes and entertainers from all walks of life that are fans of me as a man and the character that I display as a man, more so than I display. There are people that, you know, have, you know, reached out and spoke out, you know, that aren't even wrestling fans. Just because of the man of character that I've displayed and shown. And so for me, you know, I just look at that. I look at, you know, people that probably weren't interested in me as a WWE superstar now are very interested in me as a man of faith and a father. And they see, you know, all the positive things that I have been able to do and accomplish. And, you know, I just plan on, you know, taking whatever this punishment is and making it, you know, like everything else, take a lemon and make lemonade.
Awesome. That again speaks to what you're saying of just trying to be a person of character, and you have that platform and you're owning a mistake, and you know, whether you agree with it or not, like you said, you know, there's something that could always come from times of adversity, and I feel like
yeah, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people, including some of my close friends, would, you know, say, you know, hey, there are a million other things that you can do. You know, why don't you just quit and go on and do those things? And, you know, they're right. You know, I could go and coach. I can do a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I've never quit on anything my entire life. And I'm raising two young African American sons that I'm raising, you know, to have integrity and to keep their word and to finish things, you know, regardless of how hard they are. And I feel like, you know, if I were to just jump at other opportunities because they're available, that I would be completely, you know, going against what it is that I'm trying to teach my two sons. And not only that, there are people watching me that I never knew was even paying attention to me. And they're looking to me for strength. They're looking to me for encouragement. They're looking to me to say, hey, you know, if that guy can get through that and go through that, then I can go through this, whatever it is that I'm going through. So, again, you know, I don't have a quit button in me. So therefore, you know, and again, I've been homeless. I've been beaten. I've been lied on. I've been persecuted in more ways than one. And, you know, I'm still here stronger than ever. And so that's really, to me, there's nothing that in this world that can overcome what God has called for me to do. And so when I have that confidence, and since I have that confidence that I'm called here to do great things, no matter what platform I have, and just so happens that I'm in WWE at the moment, but this won't last forever. And when I'm done under contract here, people are saying, well, why don't you go to this wrestling company? When I'm done in WWE, I'm done with the business of professional wrestling. It wasn't something that I grew up wanting to do. It's just something that I've been very fortunate to do. And, there's so many other things out there that I'm able to do. And I see more so now during this time that, there are a lot of people that are rooting for me to be successful in more ways than one. There are organizations and companies and corporations out there that are supporting me that I had no clue of. And so I'll finish out my contract with WWE and see what happens after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another chapter in a very good book that you're gonna write one day.
Which I'm in the midst now anyway. So.
Oh, awesome.
I have more time to work on that stuff too.
Yeah, that's part of the silver lining, I guess.
Yeah.
So as a Christian in professional wrestling, have you ever been put in a situation that made you uncomfortable, or that you felt would have to compromise something that you believed in, or has it mostly, been kind of smooth and very respectful?
No, I've never been asked to do anything that I didn't believe would be for the betterment of the product, but also too wouldn't sacrifice the character of who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
As an entertainer, you got to do some crazy stuff on television. I've been very adamant about not being just a quote unquote stereotypical character. I feel like I'm a man of the masses. I can do more than sing and dance and be angry. I have nothing to be upset about, so I can't play the big angry black guy role. I have nothing to be upset about. I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful family, and I have a college education. I'm part of one of the greatest alumni bases in all of college, which is the University of Florida, that absolutely loves me, and they welcome me back on a whim all the time to do anything in any capacity. And so I'm cool with being an entertainer. I look at all the different aspects of people that have been very good entertainers, and one thing about them is that they've had layers to them, and I'm just trying to build those layers of my real life character. I like to have fun, but I'm also one that you don't want to get upset. And I do have a past. I have a legitimate story to tell if we wanted to tell it on television to justify any situation, whether I be a heel or a babyface. And, I just look forward to that opportunity to display those things more on a consistent basis. And if I don't get it, then that's fine too. It's been great. And, at the end of the day, I'm paid to entertain in whatever way that is. And, but I'm also paid, I feel like I'm paid by God to be the greatest ambassador to Him that I could possibly be. A lot of people say, oh, nice. He's a great ambassador for WWE, or he's a great ambassador, for this cause or that cause. But I'm really more concerned with being a great ambassador to God, because when I'm doing God's work and I'm going out and I'm blessing people and I'm using my God-given talents, resources, and abilities to help better the lives of other people, that goes whether I'm in WWE or the University of Florida or my family, and I take pride in that. I take pride in being what many people call me, a great man. It's good to be considered a great performer or a great entertainer, but there are a lot of great performers and great entertainers that have no concept of community. They have no concept of teamwork. It's all about them. And, I'm the complete opposite. To me, I get everything that I get in life. I feel like it's an opportunity for me to use and utilize to bless other people, and therefore I'll continue to be blessed because that's what my heart is. My heart is to truly make an impact in this world, and I feel like I've done a great job up to this point doing so. But there's so much more work for me to do and for my family to do, and even my children. I tell them all the time, because they'll come home sometimes and they'll say, maybe someone says something about their race, and about them not being able to do something because they're black, or their dad will never be WWE champion because he's black. And I'll say, well, that's their issue. I am who I am. I'm born African American. I'm a proud African American man, and I expect my kids to be a proud African American man as well. And the color of your skin has nothing to do with your content of character, and that's why when people meet my kids, respectful they are, and how hardworking they are, and how smart they are, I can't do anything but smile because that's all I care about at the end of the day. They could run as fast as they want to run in the 40, score as many points in basketball, but if they weren't great students in school and weren't great people, I would be very disturbed.
Right. No, 100%. That's great. And we actually recently spoke to AJ Styles for Rapzilla, and he spoke about being a Christian through his life. So I was wondering, are there any other wrestlers that you kind of share that common ground with, and are there Bible studies? Do Christian entertainers go to church? Are there small groups?
No, they're not like Bible studies per se, but we have like Scott Armstrong, and a bunch of other people. Like Road Dogg is and Fit Finley. Those guys are believers. There are a lot of believers actually on the roster, and
That's great.
we have like this email that we share every morning. Scott Armstrong sends it out. It's like an email of faith, and it's like the word of the day type thing, and some of those things are very, very timely, and I try to get up every morning too, and on my social media, and just share a verse and try to share words of encouragement as well on a daily basis. I've been doing that. It's funny to me how, people say, some of the media outlets, internet media outlets, were saying, Titus speaks for the first time and uses Bible verses. I've been using Bible verses for 10 years, whether it be text message or social media, and it has nothing to do with my current situation. This is what I've been doing every day, for years. And so it's just funny to me that people, they see that and all of a sudden it's that, oh, that's my first comments. No, that's not my first comments. It's what I do every morning. But there are guys that are believers and girls, divas, that are believers and followers, and it's tough to do in the entertainment industry. But I think it's tough anywhere, to wear that armor, kind of everywhere, and people are gonna say what they want to say. You're gonna persecute you, but like I tell people all the time, I'm not running around claiming to be a perfect person. I'm just operating in the perfect will of God, and I am unapologetically, I unapologetically love, God and Christ and what He's done for me in my life and my family's life.
Right.
And that'll always be, at the forefront of everything that I do. My faith, because there are times when that's the only thing that I have, and I tell my kids all the time, make sure that your word is good no matter where you go, because at one point that may be the only thing that you have is your word. And when people say, that guy, he might be going through some tough times, but what he says, he believes, he speaks. When he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do it. When he says he's going to be somewhere, he's going to be there. And it's just all about being responsible and accountable for time. We don't have a lot of it, as much as people may think we do. I can show you several examples of kids that passed away far too early from cancer, you know, women that lost the battle with breast cancer, people that, you know, lost their families in a car accident, or our soldiers, you know, our men and women that, you know, are fighting for us on a daily basis, that some leave and never come back, and their families are left, you know, with trying to put things back together. So our time, you know, I feel like on this earth is whether we live here 100 years, it's still limited in the grand scheme of things. So while you're here, you know, definitely make the best of it for yourself and for those around you.
Right. No, awesome. Great points. And this is, I guess, is most important for our Rapzilla audience, but one thing that AJ Styles was a self-proclaimed expert on was Christian hip-hop. So we want to see where you stand on that, and who are some of your favorite artists, and who do you listen to?
Oh, I listen to Lecrae. I listen to Bizzle. Bizzle actually is a good friend of one of my best friends.
Cool.
And I'm a huge fan of his. Titus is another one of my favorites.
Okay.
You know, Kirk Franklin, you know, you can consider him both, you know, contemporary gospel and Christian rap gospel.
Yeah, he's all over the map.
Yeah, he's all over the place. But I'm a listener of all music. But you know, Shekinah Glory Ministry is one that I like listen to on a consistent basis when I want to just wind down. And it's not hip hop per se.
Yeah.
They have some stuff that can definitely move you. And Robert McDowell. I mean, man, it's a lot of people. Israel Houghton, you know. The list could go on and on. Tasha Cobbs, I love, you know, her voice, and For Your Glory is one of my favorite songs by her. The list can go on and on. I'm a fan of all music, you know, hip hop, rap, Christian rap, gospel,
Awesome.
jazz, R&B. So I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to. I may work out to Tupac one day and then work out to Lecrae the next, you know.
Nice variety.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to have one of these Christian artists make your theme song, Coming to the Ring, who would you like? Who do you see the ideal person that would definitely get you hype as you're coming to the ring?
Bizzle.
Bizzle? Bizzle's your guy all the way?
Yeah, Bizzle.
All right. Where, I know you kind of spoke on this a little bit. Where do you see your WWE career heading, and what would you like to accomplish in the WWE before you decide to hang it up?
I'd like to accomplish as much as I possibly can. At the end of the day, it's not all up to me.
Yeah.
You know, it is a predetermined business.
Right.
I'd love to have the opportunity to carry the torch as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and because I feel like that's the ultimate prize in the company. But Intercontinental Champion, the United States Championship, I got into this because I wanted to be the best. And you know, anytime you're termed a champion, that means that you're considered one of the best. And you know, I didn't come here just to be another guy, you know, on the roster. I came here to be the best, you know, and to compete with the best. And I feel like we have a bunch of guys on the roster that are, you know, extraordinarily talented, and hopefully more of us will get opportunities to display that and help the product and the company grow in more ways than one, both in and outside of the ring. You know, one of the goals that I do have is to help take some of the resources that I have from a corporate perspective, and hopefully, you know, in due time when those corporations feel, you know, it's right and it's a right partnership, that they'll partner with the company as well, and we can do some amazing things both inside outside of the ring. But if that doesn't happen, again, this wasn't a lifelong dream, but it has been a dream to live. And we all set goals. Some of them we reach, some of them we don't for various reasons. And I would not consider myself a failure if I didn't, win singles championship gold, because I wasn't supposed to be here to start with in a lot of people's eyes. And to be in the history books as a former tag team champion and clearly one of the greatest ambassadors on our roster in regards to philanthropy and being a man of character. Those two things alone will, I feel, justify my time that I've taken to become the best at what I can do, the best performer that I can possibly be. And at the end of the day, I'll be able to look back and say I worked hard, I did all I could do, and I made the best of every situation. And that's all that I think that anybody could ever wish upon someone, but also expect of themselves. And so I would have no issues whatsoever if I were done with WWE tomorrow with the things that I've been able to help accomplish, as well as accomplish on a personal level.
My last question for you would be we're obviously, as a country and a nation, we're going through some crazy times right now. You have the elections. Unbelievably, even in 2016, there's still some things about race and racial tensions dominating the headlines, and there's just an overall fear by certain groups of people. What would you say to the person who just doesn't know how to deal with it anymore or what to do, and just kind of feels at a loss of, they turn on the TV and it's just another thing, another story to kind of just put a damper on their lives and make things more difficult?
Well, first I would say stop watching so much of the news. The media, they get paid to do what they do. And they can be a very powerful influence one way or the other. They highlight what they feel sells, at the appropriate time. And, I'm not a political person. I do vote, but I don't vote based on party lines or things like that. Nor do I go out and actively campaign for those people, that I don't really fully support, just for the gain of really something minimal. I would say the best thing that we all can do as individuals is to go out each and every day with the purpose and the mindset to make our communities better ourselves. That's the reason why I do what I do. I want to make those people around me better. I want them to be able to see past race, past color, and past background and religion. I'm not a religious person. I tell people that all the time. I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I believe in Christ and Jesus. But there are people that are Muslim and that's their faith, and I respect their faith. And I respect Catholics. I respect non-denominational. I respect the atheists. I think at the end of the day, if people took more time and focusing on, the thing that we're all blinded by, which is love, that overcomes any and everything, any and every background, partisan line. Again, you do what's right because it's right. That's the reason why, Martin Luther King and all those great civil rights leaders before us, that's the reason why they did what they did, because they felt it was right. And, I'm no Martin Luther King by a long shot, but I definitely look at him and Muhammad Ali as two of my greatest influence, because color had nothing to do with why they did what they did and who they made them, and color had nothing to do with what made them the men that they are. And I think people need to concentrate more on that, concentrate on the character of individuals, and the character of your community. How do you want your community to be seen? Do you want to be seen as one of the worst places to live in America or in the world, or do you want to see it as one of the best do you want them to be some of the worst? And that's a decision that everybody in those respective areas have to consciously think about on a consistent basis.
Right.
And that's the politicians included.
Would you have anything else to add or to say as a final statement?
No, I just appreciate the time. I appreciate the support from many, both inside and outside of WWE. And, I'll continue doing my best to make everything around me and every person around me better. And I want people around me to push me to be better, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes this world goes round. Iron sharpens iron. And you can't become iron unless you get, you have a method of doing so. And so when given the right opportunity, when the playing field is equal, all parties win. When the playing field is unequal, that's when you start having dissensions and divide that regardless of how much money is poured into that situation, when there's divide, there's no way for it to be successful.
Thank you, Titus. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again. Lots of great stuff here.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time. And again, I'm not bitter about the situation, clearly.
Yeah.
I haven't spoke about it or nothing, whatever. I look at all the great things that happen in between it. And before you know it, this time will be in the past. And it'll be time to move on. So
I tell you what, you're in much better shape than the fans.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing, though. That's again, when you really think about it, WWE didn't announce it on their website that I was suspended. It got broken by Fox Sports News.
Right.
And then New York Post picked it up. And then, UProx picked it up. And then Forbes magazine picked it up. So these are all outlets that have nothing to do with wrestling.
Right.
That, took this story and the fans, they responded, pretty, as they probably, should have in some cases. If I were a problematic person or a cancer in the locker room or, a repeated drug person, I could definitely see the reasoning behind the length of the suspension. But again, at the end of the day, it all stemmed from my action, whether it was, an act of gesture, an act of, a jovial, playful situation. It was deemed inappropriate, and so I just deal with it.
Well, thank you, Titus. I appreciate you. You're doing great work out there, and I know at the end of the day, you're just gonna keep doing you, man.